Hello, church. It's Drew here on Thursday, July 14th. I wanted to talk with you just a little bit about Sunday's sermon, July 17th. As you heard last week, I hope we're going to be talking about a very important issue in the life of the church, pornography. I recognize that this is a very sensitive topic to discuss, and that some of you with small children, myself included, you may be thinking, do I want my child in worship because of this? And I wanted to just tell you right up front, the sermon is pretty well ready to go, still praying through it, letting it simmer, seeing what the Holy Spirit brings, but it's not an X-rated sermon at all. The only thing that you may be faced with is having to explain the word pornography, because I will say that word 2, maybe 3 times over the course of the sermon on Sunday. If you really would like your children to not be in worship, we're going to have childcare available during the sermon time at all 3 services up through the 6th grade. And so we'll make an announcement at the appointed time in worship, and you can just simply dismiss your children or take them to where they might need to be. I'm probably going to leave mine in there, to be quite honest. I don't think this is a problem, and I don't, you can explain the word pornography in a very simple way. What is that, Mama? What is that, Daddy? Well, it's just something we're not supposed to look at. That's enough, typically, for a child. Now, for a 10-year-old, 11-year-old, you might need to say a little bit more. Before you just automatically assume not to have your child in worship, I want you to know that in my practice of ministry, the youngest age at which I have discovered someone actively addicted to pornography was 8 years old. 8 years old. And so this stuff is pervasive. Our kids have figured out how to access it so easily. It's everywhere. It's almost in the air that we breathe, if you really think about it. And so this is a real issue that even preteens are dealing with on a regular basis. If you have teenagers, get them to church Sunday. We're going to have some serious talk about this issue. They need to be there. I think the statistic that I quote in the sermon is 86%. 86% of 18 to 24-year-olds in the Christian church, men or women, male, boys or girls, doesn't matter, 86% actively search for porn on a regular basis. And so it's a huge problem. It may be happening in your own house, and you may not be aware of it, because many of us are so far removed from those feelings and from that issue at our older ages, so to speak. But anyway, just think about that. And as I said, if you got teenagers, get them here Sunday so we can talk about this and discuss it openly and talk about some of the effects, the long-lasting, troublesome effects that pornography has on human beings, and then ways to access help and ways to think differently about what it is that is happening when we look at pornography or just accidentally see it. Anyway, I just wanted to share that all with you. I'll try to summarize one more time. If you got teenagers, get them here. We need to talk with them about this because they are in the age group. They're definitely exposed to this stuff, whether you know it or not. It's happening. They can access it in such easy ways on their phones, even when you think you've got everything locked down. It may not be. For younger children, up through the 6th grade, if you want them to go be in another room, we will have that available. Take advantage of it if you'd like to. And finally, in summarizing, it's not an X-rated sermon. We're not going to show examples of pornography. I'm not going to describe pornography. We're going to talk about the issues related to pornography. And we're going to do it, I hope and I pray, in a way that is honest, hopeful, and encouraging for those who might be actively struggling with this issue. And I'll tell you, folks, a huge percentage, nearly 70% of Christian people today struggle with this, actively struggle with pornography. Nearly 70% of our people, over half of our pastors in the Christian church actively struggle with this. So keep all that in mind as you work toward Sunday. If you got friends, neighbors that you're bringing with you, just prepare them. It's not something to hide from. We don't hide from anything around here. We can talk about whatever we need to talk about. Just make sure they know that we're going to be talking about it, and help them know, too, that we talk about it because we find hope in Jesus. That's what we're talking about. That's the big thing we're talking about. I love you, folks. Can't wait to see you Sunday, and we'll have a good time and discover God's grace in a fresh and new way, even in a difficult place. Bye.